Hey, what is going on, you bacon burning Bonsley? Today, we're playing some games with a dragon Pokemon from Evolving Skies. And no, it is not Rayquaza VMAX. It is the Regidrago with the hammer in for 30 damage for 2 colorless, and then the Grass Fire. And I know that might seem like a pretty expensive attack cost, Grass Fire, especially on something that only has 130 HP, so it's going to get KO'd pretty easily. But trust me, the deck works. You do 240 damage, minus 20 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So usually there's not many damage counters on the Regidrago because it's usually just going to get KO'd. Like, no one's doing, 120 damage these days. So Regidrago is getting KO'd every turn, so we're going to consistently do 240 damage as long as we can consistently set these things up, which we actually can do. And the way we set these Regidragos up is we got the Cherrim in here with the Spring Bloom. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a Grass Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So we can put 2 Grass Energy onto our Regidrago and then attach a Fire for turn, and then boom, Dragon Energy, knocking stuff out. It's pretty good. Besides that, we've got an 2/2 Eldegoss line in here with the Cotton Lift that searches our deck for 2 basic energies each turn, which is specifically very helpful with this Zygarde here. I'll talk about that in a second. And then we have a Tropius in here with that Rally Back attack for Grass Colorless. And the reason we play this is just so it's a little bit more of an efficient Regidrago. If we've already hit something with Regidrago and it has 240 damage on it, then we can just be like, okay, Rally Back, 2-hit KO, you're knocked out. And then we have our last attacker in here is the Zygarde. Now, I haven't played any games with the Zygarde yet, but I was looking for something that could snipe our opponent's bench, and we came up with a couple different ideas in the chat the other day on stream. By the way, if you don't follow the stream, you should go follow the stream. First link in the description. I stream every day except Tuesdays now that I've gotten back into the normal swing of things for me, and I'm back to uploading daily on YouTube here, but definitely go make sure you check out the live stream as well, where I'll be streaming every day except Tuesdays, like I just mentioned. But this has got that Bite for 30, which is once again a pretty much irrelevant attack, just like the other attack on the Regidrago, or the first attack on the Regidrago. But then it's got that Judgment Surge for Grass fighting Colorless that does 40 damage to one of our opponent's Pokemon for each prize card our opponent has taken. So can very easily, do a lot of damage to the bench. When I was looking for something that would just do at least 80 damage to the bench, because when we do this 240 to something like a Shadow Rider or most VMAXs in the format, most VMAXs have like that 220 HP. We need 80 damage if they run to the bench, which they do. They're like, oh, I got hit. Why would I stay in the active to get KO'd? And sure, we can boss them and knock them out, but I was having trouble finding boss. And there was a couple different ideas that I came up with to help the situation. The current one I'm testing out is the Zygarde, but also a 1/1 Altaria line could work in this as well to help find the boss, because it combos actually really well with the Jirachi. We play 2 Amazing Rare Jirachi because this is always a good card to include when your opponent is taking quite a few knockouts game to game, so you'll be able to send this up that many more times and get value out of that Dreamy Revelation. So we got 2 of those in here because our opponent has to, take 6 prize cards to win the game, so we can send this up theoretically like 6, maybe even use Dreamy Revelation like 7 times if we open with it. So we can use Dreamy Revelation quite a bit because we are a 1 prize deck. And the rest of it's pretty straightforward. We got 9 Grass, 3 Fire, the 1 Fighting Energy for the Zygarde. But even though it's just 1, it's not that hard to find because of the Eldegoss's Cotton Lift ability. 4 Bruno for Research. And then we got a lot of Pokemon Search in here. No Evolution Incense because we don't have that many evolutions in here, just 2, and they're both searchable by Level Ball. So 4 level, 4 quick, 4 great. And I got 2 Rod and 1 Energy Recycler. I'm thinking about maybe cutting one of the ordinary rods, but it's really good to help recover the Eldegoss or the Cherrim if our opponent focuses either of those down. But we have a ton of attackers in this deck, so we don't really need to recover attackers very often. But it is very important to have ordinary rod immediately if we should need to recover a Cherrim or Cherubi or Gossifleur or Gossa or Eldegoss if our opponent targets one of those. So it is very important for those situations. It just doesn't come up all the time. So maybe cut an ordinary rod for like a 3rd Trading Court, because it's a little bit more important for the ordinary rod to recover the energy, which Trading Court also does, which we have 2 of those in here to help us recover our energy to keep our attackers and attacks flowing turn to turn. And then we got 1 Scoop Up Net in here just in case our opponent tries to get like cheesy and like hit a Regidrago for like 110 or 120, kind of locking that one out of play. And then they could do it to another Regidrago, and then they could go KO our Cherrim, and then we wouldn't be able to attack again. So we have 1 Scoop Up Net in here just in case our opponent tries to take that line of play. We can just Scoop Up Net and reset the Regidrago for the turn or whatever. So just 1 net in here just in case our opponent is able to pull off a line like that and attempts to pull that off. I've got the 1 net. And yeah, that's the list. So let's go ahead. Let's get into some games. I've been extremely surprised by how good this deck felt when I played it the other day. So hopefully we can get some decent games with it in today. And yeah, let's find out. All right, here we go. Getting into our first one. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Cherubi, I think. And then I'm not going to mention anything else just in case of like Escape Rope or something. I guess I could have benched the Tropius. The reason I definitely want to open the Cherubi over the Regidrago is because I want to be able to retreat into a Jirachi on the next turn to start off my turn before we Bruno. And I might put down another Cherubi. It really depends on what our opponent's playing and if I think they can get a KO on my Cherubi. There is quite a bit of bench space to work with in this deck, actually. And I've like thought about maybe we could include, I mentioned the 1/1 Altaria line, I think, in the intro, but also like a Cincino line in here wouldn't be terrible. And that would also help us like find stuff like Boss towards the end of the game and thin out the deck a little bit more aggressively. So some kind of like Cincino line could also be pretty good in here. So we have the Moltres, there's a Cobalion. They played Cherish Ball. So probably some kind of Mewtwo deck if I had to guess. And here comes the Dead Change. They're going to lose 7 cards here. So hopefully get a decent... We didn't really get that much info at all, actually. Hopefully we get a decent amount of info. Basically no info. It is ADP. But of course. Of course it's ADP. So unfortunately we can't one-hit KO ADP with the Dragon Energy. And we are playing a post-rotation deck on a pre-rotation ladder. So that, of course, kind of stinks for us. But nothing we can really do about it. Gonna have it be a little bit more difficult for us to kind of keep up potentially. We're gonna do our best though. Got double level ball actually. This is really good. So we can level ball once to get the Gossifleur and the other one to get the Jirachi out. And because they're playing ADP, I don't think I'm gonna need 2 Cherubi in play. So I'm not gonna go ahead and bench the other Cherubi. Just leave the bench space open to work with. Well, I mean, I could put it down. It's a little bit safer, I guess. All right, let's throw the Cherubi down. And then Bruno. It also takes it out of the deck, which we don't really want to find it. So treat. Dreamy. Grab the fire. Top deck quick ball is not great, so I'm debating using the great ball right now because top deck and quick ball doesn't really do a whole ton for us. Go ahead and grab the Cherum. And I think we're just gonna... I can put the air balloon down here, I guess. Yeah, and then pass. I doubt my opponent plays Tool Scrapper. No one really rocks that card very often or frequently or at all. So I'm not too worried about that. The question would be just like, if I do keep this hand, do I want to use this Ordinary Rod or do I want to leave the Grass Energy in the discard pile in case I find the Training Court? That's what I'm kind of debating right now. But if I put it back in the deck, I have a higher chance to draw into it. I'm actually not too sure which way I want to go. Here comes... Are they going with the Iron Rule? I would love it if they went with Iron Rule here, because that means they're not using ADP's GX attack. But they're not really set up very well to use ADP's GX attack, so I don't think they're going to be able to use ADP's GX attack. So I think it might have to be that Iron Rule if they want to go with the GX attack this turn. Although I'm sure they would love to use ADP's GX attack, but I'm definitely fine. If they aren't, that's good. Let's go with Iron Rule. I like it. I love it. I hope my opponent likes it too. I guess another reason to use the Ordinary Rod is because I don't really want to put Training Court in play this turn because my opponent does have a Marshadow in play, which means they're bench locked right now. And if I put the Stadium in play for them, they could bump it, you know, and get access to a bench space to work with next turn. So I don't really want to give them that. Sure, they might play their own Viridian Forests, as we see right there. And now they could bump it, I guess. And maybe now if they bump it, I'll reconsider my choice once again. We'll see what they end up doing here. Overall, though, they haven't used an attack yet. They haven't committed to anything yet. They haven't attached for turn yet either. They can still attach for turn. I think they grabbed a Dark Energy there, though. And not a... Nope, there's the water. So it looks like they are going to be setting up for this Altar Creation. I still hope that they go with this Iron Rule here. I think that would be cool if my opponent used Iron Rule. Just why not? Why wouldn't you? It's pretty good, right? Just go for an Iron Rule. It's nice. There's an E-switch somewhere to the ADP. Still can't GX attack, but it looks like they're definitely not... not about the Iron Rule at all. I don't think my opponent's using Iron Rule this game. And they'll probably go for the Altar Creation on the next turn. But we should be able to get off an attack here or get really close. We're very close to being able to get off an attack here. Just need... Well, if the Viridian Forest stays in play, we actually just need a Grass Energy, which means well, there's the bump, though. So we lose the Viridian Forest. So we need 2 Grass Energy now. 2 Grass Energy. One's in the discard pile. If we get Training Court, there's another one. I'm like feeling like I just best the Ordinary Rod. But now if I draw into a Training Court, there's 2 Training Courts. So I guess it was best to not Ordinary Rod, actually, because there's 2 Training Courts in the deck, and now they're both useless as opposed to an extra energy in the deck, which is 2 outs versus 1 out. So just don't get punished here. All right, we didn't get punished. Great. That's perfect. Spring Bloom once again. And yeah, we're getting this a knockout here. It's pretty cool. Dreamy Revelation. Get the Eldegoss. And the Eldegoss combo works so well. Someone suggested it in my chat when I was playing on stream the other day. By the way, check out the stream. First link in the description, twitch.tv/AzulGG. someone brought up the Eldegoss, and I was like, okay, that seems decent. And then we had like a lot of space as I was building through the deck, so I was like, okay, I'll include it, and we'll see if it's good or not. In my head, initially, I was like, I don't think it's going to be that great. But yeah, wow, it's so good. It's so good. The Eldegoss Cherrim combo. We just have so much bench space to work with. We have Eldegoss, Cherrim, and Jirachi on our bench throughout almost every single game, but we still always have so much room to work with. It's kind of insane. And in this game, you can see I pretty aggressively put down the second Cherubi, but it just doesn't hurt. We have a bench space open right now. When our attackers are basics and can be set up in one turn to turn, bench space really isn't a problem at all, as you guys can see with this deck, which is yeah, pretty crazy. But we have this one basically locked up here, I think. Or pretty close. We're not quite there yet. We can go boss next turn. We can try and go for boss, to be honest. Have that option open. We can go boss, hit, and then be able to maybe one-hit KO anything. Or we also have the option of that Zygarde. The Zygarde's in the deck. We got the fighting energy in the hand, so that could also come up and be a big deal. We'll see, I mean, what our opponent fully has here on this turn. But I think I'm going to go boss, KO the Moltres. Like I said, I'm sure they're GX attacking this turn. If they don't GX attack this turn, then I definitely think we have this one locked up. Maybe they'll just go with all right, no, they don't go with the Ultimate Ray. I was thinking maybe they would go with an Ultimate Ray, thinking, hey, that thing takes a lot of energy. They probably won't be able to set up another of those, but we're going to be able to pretty easily set up another of these. Thin out the deck some more. And yeah, just aggressively thinning out the deck with the Eldegoss too is super cool. Yeah, it really gets the job done. The Eldegoss is great. So we could Dragon Energy the active here, but I'm liking the boss play because it means I could just go boss again. I kind of just like the idea of being able to do that. And well, there's the concede from my opponent. So we beat ADP with our one prize post-rotation deck. No problem. It probably won't go that way every time, but we got him this time. And who knows? Maybe the next game we'll play against another one and get that one in the similar fashion. All right, another coin flip win. So we will go first. And this can be a big deal in the Shadow Rider matchup. Some matchups doesn't really matter too much at all. Our opening hand, not great, but they didn't mulligan, so we'll have that to work with as well. But it's not terrible, to be honest. We're up against some kind of Sylveon box type. They got the Metal Saucer, they got the Sylveon, they had Dark Energy, so the Moltres is in there for sure. Not terrible hand. Obviously, I think we've all seen better hands. No draw support in it, but mulligan and a card coming our way. We're also going first, so we don't need a draw supporter this turn. Next turn is when we really want that draw supporter. But the opening hand, not terrible for sure. We are just like a one Pokemon, two mulligans actually. One Pokemon search card, and there's the Jirachi, but we can't get into the Jirachi, unfortunately. So now I've got to make a choice. Excuse me. Do I just go with we definitely get a Cherubi, but I could top deck a Grass Energy, and then I would be able to attack if I don't play this. But if I play this, I think we just pass. But I could go get Eldegoss's basic, and then if we top deck a Level Ball or a Cherrim, oh my gosh, that's a tough call. I'm going to pass though, because we have more Grass Energy in the deck than we do out to Cherrim, so it's more likely that we draw into a Grass Energy on this turn. So I mean, it makes sense to play it this way, and we're up against another tag team deck of some sort, or GX deck, as I see my opponent is using the Cherish Ball here. So playing against another pre-rotation deck, so we're at a little bit of a disadvantage, not playing with quite as big of a card pool as our opponent. They're getting aggressive with this Mawile here. Nothing for them to take, but they will see that my hand is dead, of course, which is never good to have your opponent know that information. But like I said, we're just a Grass Energy top deck away, so we're not far from being able to start doing things, but it does feel a little bit like that there's a little bit more. I mean, it just doesn't feel great. It never feels great to be dead drawing. Even if the top deck is good enough, you're right back in it. It still never feels good to be playing for that top deck. And yeah, I mean, depending on how aggressive my opponent's deck is, which it looks like it's not that aggressive. It looks like it might be more of a. I mean, they got the Sylveon line in here, but I feel like there's no ADP in here because they didn't go search out ADP with that Cherish Ball. They went and got a Mawile. So I feel like there's no ADP. Of course, I could be wrong. For sure. I could definitely be wrong. That was what was that? Was that a Marshadow? I think it was a Marshadow. So aggressively grabbing Marshadow when I've got a dead hand. Yeah, there's the Marshadow. All right. Well, let's see what else they get going here. They can definitely attack with Moltres next turn. That should be no problem for them. Maybe even be able to attack with a Zacian. Grass Energy. Hey, there's the Grass Energy. I was talking about it. I was like, well, we have a higher chance to get the Grass Energy, and there it pays off. We got the Cherrim out. Load up the energy on the active. We're going to get 2 prize cards to work with here as well. Now I have this boss, and I could do it, but it's more likely they can attack with the Moltres than the Zacian, so I think it's best to just knock out the active here. For the Zacian to get set up, they need an energy for turn. and a Metal Saucer, and a way to move from the bench to the active. If I leave the Moltres alive, then all they need to do is go, okay, so get an energy onto the Moltres through the ability, and we see it's in the discard pile. They had 2 of them. And then any energy to attach return. Whereas Zacian, they specifically need that metal energy. So I think this is definitely the better route to take here. Just knock out the active, make them work a little bit harder. Just like how I took the route that I did in the last turn, higher odds on my end to top deck a grass energy than the Cherrim. So we're like, all right, play it towards this way. And we'll be like, okay, take this knockout, make it a little bit harder for my opponent. And that's really all you can do at the end of the day. Is just make your opponent work a little bit harder, make it a little bit the odds a little bit better for you on your end, and just get as close as you can to getting the best odds for you and hoping it plays out that way. At the end of the day, sometimes that's all we can do. So another Moltres coming down. They've got the energy for the Zacian, but like I said, still need that Metal Saucer, and they also need, actually, they need a metal in the discard pile. So one more step that I didn't even think about. They need a metal in the discard pile. They need a Metal Saucer, and they need a switch card, and they've Marnied us. We did get the Bruno off the prize cards, but definitely wouldn't mind seeing some fresh cards here. We want to get down the Gossifleur. We need to set up another attacker. Ooh, this is not the attacker I was looking to try and set up, though. This is not it. This is our late game. It even came with the fighting energy, too, so it really stinks to probably have to not set it up initially. I guess I could put it down with the fighting energy and just have that ready to go. And here's a Reinforce from my opponent, though, so I'll probably try and take advantage of that for sure. I don't really want to shuffle the deck. I guess there is a Bruno on the bottom of the deck, so it wouldn't hurt to shuffle it. I think I'll go... I could Viridian Force, then Great Ball, but I don't think there's any Pokemon that were shuffled off the mark. So I want to go Great Ball, then Viridian Force, I think, in this sequence coming up here. And then ideally, well, actually, we'll see. They might actually... Okay, they whiffed. That's huge. Now we can take this knockout on the small while. And we should set up one more Regidrago. And we should just... Regidrago. We should just win. All right, Great Ball first. All right, Regidrago. That's pretty good. Throw that down. I don't think we're using the Snipe guy anytime soon, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. Quick Ball away the Zygarde. Grab a Gossifleur. Boom. I'm just going to play down my whole hand here. Yeah, I don't think we're going to need this guy anytime soon, so we can go ahead and throw it away with the Fighting Energy, because Fighting Energy, only good on that. We can use the Fighting Energy on the Tropius as well, but it can't be used. I mean, grass, fire here. We can't even, there's no colorless attack cost here, so we can't even get it involved on the Regidrago, unfortunately. Although it would be nice. It would be nice if this had like a grass, fire, colorless. That'd be a little bit better, right? But sometimes it's grass, fire. But we're set up here to just win the game. Our opponent, like, yeah, they knock us out, but they left the Viridian Force to play. They could have bumped it with the Marshadow. Even if they did, we have research. We could have signed up Jirachi to potentially dig a little bit deeper with the Dream Revelation. But Viridian Force is in play, so that's it. That is the dub. As we get 3 quick knockouts here with the Regidrago. And yeah, this deck, like I said, it has felt so much better than I would have ever expected. It's great. I love it. Definitely recommend you guys try it out. 240 is such a good number to hit. It KOs all the Vs. U2 it KO all the VMAXs. And yeah, it really is, I mean, just solid deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Gonna be a short one for today. If you did, give it a like. If you're enjoying the content and it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And I will see you guys in the next one.